What's up, beautiful people, to another episode of Pursuit of Destiny podcast. It's me, Ricky Jones Jr., back again for another episode in which I'm also excited about. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see I changed some things up. I am standing up now while doing these podcasts as I'm just getting, acclimated and used to just standing and presenting. And honestly, I believe in this posture, it allows for me to be more me. I think sitting down, I won't say it's like stale, but it's a little stale, right? At the end of the day, it's a little stale. Outside of the interview, if you did not see the interview with gjuNV, please go back and listen to it, watch it, or whatever it is that you do. And I promise you, you will get so many gems, so many jewels, so many insights, and so many abilities and takeaways that you could even use in your business, in your personal life, as a father, as a parent, just holistically, it's what you want to see. And it makes sense, right? And I say it makes sense because it took us so long to gather our calendars together, coordinate, get in unison and things like that. And now I understand why. When such a dynamic conversation takes place, usually there will be opposition. Usually there will be things that will try to attempt to stop or block such a good scenario. But God is good. We were able to get together, and so I do advise you to go back and listen to it. It aired on Saturday last week, so yeah, go ahead and do that. Now, on today's episode, we are going to talk through life application, life uses for the affirmation, okay? Now, we just don't want to say an affirmation to you and believe that you have everything necessary to be able to live it out or execute it with precision in your life. So we use days like today, Tuesdays, to be able to walk through what the affirmation means and how it can be applied to your life. And again, if you missed it, it was titled Release, okay? And so we're just gonna break it down. There's 3 parts to this scenario, to this affirmation, that I want to break down with you and talk through with you, okay? If you're cool with it, I would appreciate you to hit that thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and follow. If you are listening on various podcast platforms, do what you do to be connected with us, okay? Because we all will strive, and we all are striving towards pursuing our destiny, okay? And in the beginning of the affirmation, it says, I release anything in my life that does not serve who I was created to be. My gosh, we starting off with a banger, okay? And I say with a banger because in it talks about releasing things that doesn't allow for me to be who I was created to be. And my question to you is, what were you created to be? What is your purpose? Or in other words, right? I heard it said that if purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable, which means that you will allow for various things to come into your life that has nothing to do with your purpose, nothing to do with what you were created to be. And what we are doing this week, what are we talking about this week, is releasing those things, okay? Because they are not helping you to progress. They are keeping you stagnant in whatever situation or circumstance you are in, okay? And so that's why we have to release. We have to go through things, right? And I say go through things in a sense where usually New Year's, right? New Year's is that high ticket day where people assess their life over the previous years and start thinking about different things that they want to change, different things that they want to do, different places that they may want to go. They start making New Year's resolutions and things like that. However, I believe that this is something that we can do weekly, right? I was about to say daily. I wouldn't do it daily. It's just excessive. However, some people do, some people will, and maybe you do. However, weekly, I do assess things that I planned out to do, and I assess with how those things went, right? And so I'm able to assess and even pay attention to different things that I may be holding in my life that I may need to let go. Because it says, I release anything, right? That's the key word right there. I release anything in my life that does not serve who I was created to be, right? And so even the key word there, another key word outside of created, is serve, right? And I say that to say whatever is attached, whatever is in your life is either serving you or harming you. Again, I'm going to say that. Whatever is in your life is either serving you or harming you. In other words, we heard it as it pertains to other people. Either some people are an asset in your life or they're a liability in your life. If I was to use, to interchange those things, something is either serving you, right, asset to you, or harming you, or is a liability to you. Assess what's going on in your life. Assess different things that you are attached to. You may be trying to figure out, how do I know if I'm attached to a thing, or how do I know if this is an attachment? How often are you paying or giving it your attention each and every day? I love on our phones, Apple, if you use Apple phones, right? They give you a rundown of the different times in which you spend on different apps and different things like that, which was eye-opening to me because it allowed for me to see, or to be recognized or brought to my attention, how much time I actually use on social media. Okay, we talked about this in previous podcasts. However, that was an attachment that I had to be released from, right? I had to let go of the TikToks. I had to let go of the Twitters. TikTok is a black hole for me, right? It may not be for you, but it was for me, and it was an attachment that I had to release, an attachment that I had to let go and even limit, right? And that was a phase. I had to phase myself out. I can't say I just snapped it off one day. It did not happen like that. I weaned myself off. I gave it a certain amount of time, reduced that time, free as me in a sense, right? I still look at it from time to time, but it's not like in my forefront, right? I have to search for it to get to it. It's just different things that you may do that will allow for you to be detached from different things that you are currently attached to, okay? So pay attention to those things. Secondly, it goes on to say, I let go of unhealthy attachments that distract me from my purpose. There's a word right there. Purpose, right? We're talking about purpose. Again, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable, right? And so we have to let go of unhealthy attachments that come to distract us from our purpose. Those distractions, those unhealthy attachments, we're releasing them this week, right? Think about those things. Write those things down. Ask somebody else, what do you think are some unhealthy attachments? It may be that person, right? Some people, truth be told, are unhealthy attachments that we have that we feel are necessary for our life to progress. However, I just want you to do whatever it is you need to do this week, today. If today is the day where it's like, okay, I'm really doing this. Take the time, whichever day it is, to really assess the people that are in your life. We talked about it before. The people that, your 5 people that are closest to you are indicative of how either far you will go, or your perspective on life, or the mental capacity that you may be able to reach, because those people are influencing you. They're talking about what they're talking about, which you'll inevitably be talking about what they're talking about, because you all are talking to each other, right? So what are they talking about? Start paying attention to what they are talking about and ask yourself, are they things that I want to be able to talk about? Are they things that I want to pass on to my children if you have children? Are there things that I want to talk about one day if I'm shooting the breeze, right, with somebody? Are those conversations? If not, maybe you want to assess, right, the people that you're around. We said it before, either you change the people you are around, right, literally change them, or you actually change the people you're around. Maybe you need to get into other circles. Maybe you need to start rubbing shoulders with other people, right? It's not that you're trying to mooch off of them. No, you're assessing yourself, availing yourself to other groups of people, other circles, other communities, so that you are able to learn and to grow in the direction in which that community, that circle, those groups of people are doing. And that comes when you actually are able to release, right? If you don't release a thing, you don't make yourself or avail yourself to what's to come. And oftentimes we miss the things that we are actually looking for, striving for, pursuing, because we're holding on to things that has period. I was about to say more, but I think you have the understanding. We're holding on to things unnecessarily, where if we just release them, it will make room for what is to come. My question is, what are you holding on to? What are you still holding on to? What attachments have you not released that are necessary for you to pursue your destiny, to pursue your passions, to pursue your purpose, right? Because if you don't, they will continue to, and I'm going to read it as it says, right? They will continue to distract you from your purpose, and those things are unhealthy, right? And it could be food, right? And I'm saying it could be food because it was food for me. I had to cut out candy. I was a candy addict. Like, I loved worms. If my wife bought me some worms, which are $1. I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, you love me. There wasn't a flight that I would take without a box of Mike and Ike's. Like, I'm talking about the green box of Mike and Ike's, which if you had them, it's nothing but sugar, like little sugar pebbles. That's all it is with colors, right? And they have all different kind of flavors. You put them in your mouth, you put like 5 in your mouth, it's all one flavor at the end of the day. But nonetheless, I was so addicted to the Mike and Ike's, but I had to let them go. Why? It was unhealthy. I started getting dentist bill after dentist bill. I started getting crowns, root canals, fillings, cavities. Like it was just stacking up. Like I could not take a trip to the dentist. Like it wasn't even like regular cleanings anymore. It was like, what's wrong with my teeth right now? And that was unhealthy. Why? Because I'm talking, right? I talk to people for a living. I speak to people. I'm before people with my mouth open and words coming out of my mouth. So I can't have a unruly mouth, right? Or set of teeth. So I had to cut it out. And I am doing great. I only slip up when my kids bring candy and I taste it, and it's a thing, right? But nonetheless, I'm saying it to say we have to cut those unhealthy things out of our lives, and I'm saying it to you, and know that I am working on some things too, right? And so we can do this together. Again, that's what the Destiny is Tried for on Facebook, so that we can have a space in which people that are pursuing destiny can work together, talk together, and communicate together, right? And encourage one another along the way. So we're going to cut some things out, some unhealthy things that are hindering us from pursuing our destiny. And lastly, great people, the affirmation goes on to say, from this day forward, I attract opportunities and relationships that are good for my life. Now we're on a positive swing, right? So we talked about different things that we have to let go of, different reasons why they're unhealthy, they block us, they hinder us from pursuing our destiny. But now, once we have done those things, now we can start to open ourselves up again. You have to let go before you can attract. You have to release before you can receive, right? You have to sow a seed before you can reap a harvest. There's always a give and a take. We're now able to attract the things that are for us, attract opportunities and relationships that are good for our life, which I don't know if you all saw it, but there was this huge phenomenon that went about called The Secret, right? And it basically was talking about the law of attraction, which has some merit to it. However, what we are going to speak on this here platform, on this here channel from my mouth, right? The whole idea with attracting things, opportunities, and relationships that are good for our lives is led by expectation. Why? Because we believe that expectation always precedes manifestation, okay? So whatever it is that you're looking to manifest, you first have to expect that it will be for you and that you can have those things, right? And so we're going to expect this week, right? Once we've released things out of our lives that are hindering us, that are blocking us, that are prohibiting us to proceed, we're not going to expect. And once we start expecting certain things, we're going to expect opportunities. We're going to expect relationships. You're going to expect the opportunities to have a raise on your job if that's something that you want, or a new job, or a new business venture and or opportunity, right? You're going to expect the fact that proper relationships are going to come your way. Why? Because you had to release some. You had to release some of those relationships that weren't beneficial for your progression, weren't in the direction of your destiny, right? And so now that you've released them, now that you can receive some that are beneficial for the life that you were born and purposed to live, right? And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to start expecting, we're going to start receiving, and we're going to start manifesting the life that we want. And how do we manifest the life that we want? We first expect. We expect. Expectation precedes manifestation. Expectation precedes manifestation. I believe that the life that you are living today is in large sum total of the thoughts that you have in relation to what you can live, what you can have, right? We have desires, we have wants. However, there is a reality that we have flowing through our brains, flowing through our minds, and the reality that we live in is in direct connection to the thoughts and things that we have in our minds. So if you want to expand what's going on in your life, first start with releasing, which is what we're doing this week, but then let's start expecting, which is on the other end of the release. So With that being said, great people, I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening with us today. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so on YouTube. We are trying to get to 1,000, right? Let's get to 1,000 this week. I believe that we can do it, and I believe with your click and your subscription, it's going to help us do it. But then also, if you are listening on any various podcast platform, go ahead and click that follow button. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps, right? It helps us do what we do for more, right? And it helps us to be recognized and things like that. So, hey, I appreciate y'all thinking. It costs you nothing. So, why not? I don't know. Maybe you want to keep listening? That's fine. Keep listening. We're going to have some great podcasts along the way. But until then, great people, as we always say, don't just live life, but pursue destiny daily. Peace.